Hey guys, Rana here and welcome back. I wanted to record this video of me putting my bang in. I wanted to switch it up because I have just been doing the regular finger waves and or just curling the top a little bit, but now that my hair has gotten long enough at the top, my little bang has gotten long enough to add some tracks and actually cover it up. I said, why not throw in some tracks? So I really wanted to show you all how I did this and achieve this look. It's not too much, to the back. It's just slicked down. Let's go ahead and watch this video. It is a little lengthy and I will explain in the next part as to why it is. So you can just forward to the part with the bang because there was a few steps I had to do before that. But just go ahead and skip to this. Feel free to watch the entire thing. You don't have to skip if you don't want, but I just wanted to make sure you all saw how I slayed this bang real quick. Like, oh. But stay tuned. Let's get started. So in order to achieve this look, there may or may not be a few things you have to do. For me, I have to relax I'm not doing my whole head, but I'm just doing the perimeter, basically just around here and in the back, because it got a little rough right here. So I'm going to and it's time for a haircut anyway, but I'm going to just relax that so it can lay down nicely. And then I also have to rinse my hair, because as y'all know, I used to have blonde and then I went black. And so just because I haven't rinsed it, I would honestly say since then, you can kind of see it. Y'all can see it's like turning back brown a little bit. So I just need to rinse that. But the relaxer that I'll be using is this olive oil. This is not really my go-to. My go-to is Nairobi or Design Essentials. Is that what it's called? Design Essentials? I think so. But either one of those two. But this one is already pre-made or whatever, so I'll use this one for like my edges. That's no problem. And what I'll be rinsing my hair with is the Adore Jet Black. This is actually what I used when I colored it the last time, and there's still some in there. So that is that. And one last thing I have to do. So the last time I cut my hair, I made a V shape, so it was like going down to a V. I don't want that anymore, so basically how I cut it, which I did it like this, so that way if I didn't want that V eventually, I could cut it off. So basically I just did I parted my regular way, not cut my hair any other time. So I just did it like that, and I made the part across as normal. And then what I did was I just connected the corner from right here to right here, and all I did was brought my comb down this way, so that way I could create that V shape. So that way, basically I did that again just so when I am ready to cut it off, which I am right now, I would just cut it straight across, and that way this area down here is the area down there is cut off. So I have a few steps I have to do. If you just want to speed up for the purpose of this video, which is creating the bang, go right ahead and do so. But oh Lord, I forgot I put gas to be in my hair because these little pieces was they was like sticking up a little bit. So I actually need to wet this down just a little bit because this is hard. It's gonna start hurting. But yeah, so those are just the steps I have to do. Not every part is necessary, especially if your hair is already color of the hair you have, if your hair is already relaxed, or if you don't get a relaxer, whatever the case. But or if you don't have a V shape, these just are the necessary steps I have to take to get the look that I want for the moment. So give me 1 sec. I just have to get some water. Alright, so So y'all know I always start off with combing my hair out. Oh, and anybody's wondering, I got this. Well, you can get this because I didn't necessarily buy it, but this is from you can get it from Sally's, and if you have a membership, you can get it from Cosmo Prof. But that's that. Ooh, child, this stuff was really in here. My goodness. I sprayed a lot on that stuff. Alright. Oh Lord. Alright. Look like I need to spread a little bit more. So I'll start pulling my hair out. A little bit that I do have. And when don't worry, but when I'm ready to rinse it, because I'm going to relax it. And you know what? Because I'm only relaxing this. I may relax and rinse at the same time just to speed up the process. But I'm going to just make sure this is damp. Alright. So I only wet it. Again, this stuff is what I have to do just for the moment. And that's also because I spray like some Gots to Be glue spray, the freeze spray, in for my hair. But, so boom, that's that. It's still in there a little bit. So it's not much movement up here right now. But I'm gonna start with this relaxer. And I always put Vaseline on my ears and around my hairline. Because the last thing you need is for it to be burned or scabbed or whatever the case. But that's really if you leave it on way too long. So that's what I do, and then I'll like rub it on my ears. Because I'm really not doing that much. Alright, boom. So that is really all it is to it. I'm not doing the front. It's just these sides right here. And I'm only doing this to make sure they are like completely slicked down, because I can't stand me trying to fight with my edges, like how this look right here. And the thing is, with this style, and I'm only doing this because I don't plan to do my like entire head or whatever. This is gonna be laid down. So that's how I'm doing that. So all I do is have my little brush, and all I'm doing is just wiping it straight from in here. Then I start to apply. Now that I think about it, I should have put this color on first. that would have definitely needed to sit a little longer, but oh well, started already. So grab my mirror. I need a haircut so bad. Alright, so that's it for the back. Then this front. Alright, so that's literally all I'm doing. I am not going far back. But if that perimeter is slicked down, then it just makes the hairstyle look so much better. Y'all have no idea, so much better. And then because your hair can be super cute, but if them edges is a little rough, it's a big difference. So alright, now pretty much all I'm gonna do with this is just kind of put that on there, and I'm going to leave it alone for however long, probably about 10 minutes, because as y'all can see, it wasn't like it was super light, so it won't take long to get in there. So yeah, this will be easy. If I can get the glove on right. Y'all, these gloves have been through it. They started off this baby pink. I did this when I colored it red. Alright, so boom. This is all I'm doing. And I'm going to be more careful, of course, towards my hairline. But this is all I am doing. Or I'll do it like this. Put it in my hand. No need for parting and all that stuff. So just the steps of this, just recapping. You could either, I recommend putting the color on first. I didn't think about it until I was already into it, which was a little too late, but oh well. You can put the color on first, let that, sit and do its thing. And then, apply your relaxer. Let those sit for about the same amount of time. Especially if you're in my situation where it really wasn't light. Like the color of my hair wasn't light. So it doesn't need to sit too long. I just want to knock some of this light out. Light brown, I should say. So that's that. Once I do all of this, I'm going to cut it afterwards. I'm gonna just go over it with my clippers. It's super easy. All I'm going to do is, y'all see my tan? All I'm gonna do is part it off how I told y'all from the beginning, and just take the clippers and go across it, and that's really it. Like, it's not much to that cut at all. And I would have cut it first, just in case anybody is wondering, why didn't she cut it first before she put the color in the relaxer? But because my hair was so molded down with all of that gas to be glued spray, the free spray, I prefer to just wait until it's freshly washed and clean, and then probably hit that area with a blow dryer and just wipe it on out. But I think it does good. So I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes or so, not too long. That's unnecessary to do it for too long, and then that'll be it. Alright, so I am back. So all you want to do now is I don't even want to say you as if everybody's gonna have to go through this, but what I have to do now is just blow dry this top out. That way it is dry for when I cut it. And as you all can see, I didn't have that color on for long. It really wasn't long at all, and it took very well. Oh, another FYI, just in case anybody's wondering. So the way I washed it out was I let the water rinse down, and because I didn't want to get my nails black, I kind of like just patted it. I could have put on a glove, but I left the glove in the bathroom and whatever. So I just kind of like patted it while my head was down. So I was kind of like moving the hair around, and then I did that for about a minute. That way it's just rinsed out, and then that's when I went ahead and rinsed around the perimeter where the relaxer was. And then once I've realized that I got all of that out, because you can feel it if you haven't done this before yourself, but you can feel the difference. And so after I did that, that is when I went ahead and did the regular shampoo and conditioner. So back to the program. Just want to make sure you comb through this. You do not want to start blow drying if you have you know, kinks and stuff like that in there. I know it's common sense, but I think it's necessary to say anyway. But cut that area with the same guard that you cut the rest of your hair with. Don't just go in there no guard, because you gonna be screwed. All right, so I couldn't find it at first, so I used a 2. I usually use 2 with my hair. Just because it's easier to manage when it's that short, and I don't have to cut it as much. So let me show you all what I was talking about. So this was about where my line is on this side. And if it's a big difference, you'll be able to tell. If you can hold this and see this down, see these little hairs pop out, it's easy to find your line. So same thing with this side. So just moving most of the hair over, and my line is about here-ish. So I'm not too focused on making this line straight right now, because I'm not focused up here. I'm focusing on these back corners where I originally made my square, and then I'm going to connect the two, and whatever is left in the back, that extra triangle, is going to be cut off. So that is how I did it. Alright, so knot right here. Okay, so it looks like that's it. It looks like that's it right there. So it looks like my corners are right here. Okay, so what I need to do is now just go across and kind of meet my finger. And of course I will be checking this in the mirror to make sure I cut off the right amount. So it's a little off, but you get what I'm saying though. You can see I am and I think that's about it. So you can see I have this little bit. Alright. So now with my 2 guard, I am going to clip this. Alright, so that's it. So just another swing around for you all. So this is it. All of this will be laid down. All of this will be laid down. And this is where I think I'm gonna do the bang this way. The next time I do my relaxer is when I will do all of it, and then usually when I do that, that's when I'll do like the finger waves and stuff like that. But for right now, I don't really feel like doing that. Just to be honest with you, it doesn't take too long, really, but sometimes you just don't feel like doing that. So that is it for that, guys. Let me take this clip out. That's it for that. So the next step for me to do is to straighten this area right here. How I will be doing mine, you can do it any type of way you want. Some people really do not like glue on their hair. Some do not mind. Some have said it pull their hair out. Some said it don't. I'm one that says it don't. So that has always worked for me in the past. So I'm going to keep doing it that way because it hasn't given me any problems. So I'm going to straighten this. And when I say that, that means not the straightening part, but as far as how I'm going to do the tracks, I'm going to actually part my hair and lay them on my scalp. Because you can do it like that, or again, for the people who have had problems, you can part off the area that you're going to leave out. So part your leave out as normal if you were doing a regular weave. And then you can put the Morning Glory on. You can mold this however you need to get it super flat. And you put your stocking cap, Morning Glory, let that dry, and then lay the tracks. You can do it like that. That's how I do my regular quick weaves. That's not what I'm doing right now, so that is why I need to make sure this is super straight and laid in the direction that I'm going to be laying the tracks in, so that way I don't have any problems with it laying down or it looking natural or anything like that, because you just want it to look natural. That's all. You don't want it to look like, oh, she got tracks up there. So yeah, so that is, it's time for a trim also. But that's it for that. So I will just plug up my flat irons, and then I'll be right back when I start. Alright, so now it's time for the flat iron. So I'll be using this Tresemme heat protectant. It's the Keratin Smooth. You can get this from anywhere. I think I got it from Walmart, but you can get it probably any hair store really. Or I know like Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, those type of places sell these that brand too. So you just want to let that dry. You do not want to start flat ironing if it is wet, because that is not working and it's defeating the purpose. So while that's doing its due, I am going to be using my Remington flat iron. I've had this for a very long time. It is my baby. It's my favorite. It looks like I just got some rinse on it right here, but whatever. So I set this for $4.50. I have always used $4.50 on my hair, and it's never like damaged it or anything like that. So I stick to what I know. So $4.50 for this, and I got this from Walmart. $30. Again, I've had it for a very long time. It's one of my favorites. I prefer this one over some of my expensive ones. So yeah, it's a good purchase. So I can feel that this is dry. So how I'm going to be doing it, again, I'm going to have mine going swooping this way. So that is the way I'm going to be flat ironing. You don't want to flat iron in the opposite direction. I know that's probably common sense, but some people who really wouldn't think about it, I should say, I don't want to say don't know, but who really wouldn't think about it, that is very important to do. So I know this look real crazy, but that's okay because it's not going to be shown anyway. So this is all I'm doing, guys. I am just straightening. Just straighten it down. Nothing fancy. Don't try to put a little curl to it. Don't try to do any of that and waste your time, because it would not be shown. You are just getting it straight. So that way, these tracks are laying as flat as possible. So I also wanted to mention too, because as you all know, wait, was I recording when I had? You know what? When I start recording, I did not have my bang when I first got my YouTube, but I had a bang, like no weave. It was like legit mine, and I cut it off. But the way I would style it is, I would do it the same way if I was like relaxing or whatever. I would relax everything, and then I would blow dry everything together. What I would do after that is section my hair off. So section the top, put that in a ponytail, and I would leave that alone. I would not straighten that. I would not mess with the top at all. And then I will go ahead and style my haircut. I will style that, let that dry and everything, and then that's when I will go in and do the bang. So that is how I'm going to do it the same way. I am not going to change anything up. So what I'm going to do is, after I flat iron this, I am not going to lay the tracks next. I am going to pretty much put this up and out the way, and then flatten this down like I said I would. So that is how I'm going to do it. Again, I'm not switching it up just because it's tracks. And again, you want to make sure it is dry, meaning your hair, the short hair. You want to make sure it's dry, because you don't want to try to start flat ironing your bang, and then, you know, it's just messing up what you just took your sweet time and did. You don't want to do that. So I've never made that mistake and did it like too early, because usually when I do my hair, I'm doing it like on the weekend, like now, and I don't have much to do, so it's not like I'm in a rush. So you just want to continue this and not drop your clip. Sanitation rule, you would have to pick that up and put it in your sanitation bin, and then sanitize your hands. But when you're at home, you ain't doing all that. At least I ain't. But in hair school, they were not playing that. You were not about to pick something up off the floor and just leave it, or pick it up and put it back in somebody's head. You are not doing that, because you ain't doing that in state board. So you got to practice how you play. Alright, so I'm about done with this. I cannot wait for my bang to grow back. I'm actually able to put this in a ponytail though, like a little stick up ponytail looking crazy, but hey, slow progress is still progress. Alright, so that is it for that. Don't worry, just because your hair is short, you may have some flyaways at the moment, but if you got the right products, that'll lay that right down once you put your tracks in and stuff, when it's time to blend. Oh Lord, I just broke. This just broke off. So, alright, so that's that. So all I'm going to do now is kind of like move this toward the front. I'm not about to just pull this up in a ponytail. That's really going against what I just did, and it's going to have this hair stuck up. So I am going to just kind of move this forward. And really, because it's staying where it is, I can leave it like this, or if you want to clip it, or if it's long enough to maybe put a little braid, whatever you want to do, just get this out the way, and that way you are not touching it at all when it's time to lay this down. So I'm gonna go grab the products for this back area. So what I'll be using for the molding for my little short hair is my same go-to is Nairobi foaming lotion, is what they call it, foaming lotion. And then I'm using just black gel. It does not have to be pro style, it can be whatever, as long as it's a black gel. When I had blonde hair, I used the Eco Styler gel excuse me, and I used the lighter color. I did not put black on my blonde. So how I do mine, some people do it opposite way. I put my oh Lord, I'm getting gel on in my nose. I put the black gel first, and then I put my Nairobi. Some people have done the Nairobi and then put the gel. Some people don't even use gel, whatever, however, but this is just how I do it. I don't want to ever say like it's a super wrong or right way. I'm just simply letting you all know how I achieve my looks and the methods that I use and what works for me. That way, if you're ever looking for a different method, you can always try it out. If you don't like it, don't ever say like I'm doing it the wrong way. Just know that it just didn't work for you. It's just that simple. So you just want to Lord, something got in my throat, Jesus. So you want to Make sure you don't get scared to like put it in this area right here. That's why I always use my mirror, because that part is important too. I mean, so get a little bit, put it up here, and I need to make this part again. I can see that this part in the back has gotten a little off. So now I know I need to clip this up, wherever my clip is. Alright, so because my hair is dry and it's short and it's just sticking up, what I'm gonna have to do now is just put this in it, put the Nairobi, the foam, and then I'm gonna have to really make sure that line is straight, because right now me trying to do it while it's dry, it ain't working. So just put some pumps in here, and you just want to start wherever. I just kind of go up to the line and just work my way down. That's how I do it. You can start in the back, however you want, as long as it gets done. Okay, so I'm about to just do this all over. And then once I get to this area up here, because I can see this very easily, once I get to that part that's a little bit more difficult to see, is when I would actually, on purpose, put a little bit of this towards the top. This will not hurt it or, you know, make anything difficult to flat iron in the end. So I'm going to put some of that just so I can really see what I'm doing. So before I do that, I'll just kind of brush this down, just making sure that that product is going through your hair. It's not just laying on top. So you just want to brush down. Again, if this was the finger waves that I wanted to do, this is when I would do it. After I brushed it out, make sure everything was combed through, I would do it like that. So now I just need to make sure this part is straight. So as you can see, I'm able to separate it better up here. So I might put a little bit more just so I can see. So, do you all see what I'm saying? Using this Nairobi makes your life so much easier. Do not work harder if you don't have to. So just put some Nairobi on that part. And literally all you are doing is parting and moving up, and then, or moving down if necessary. don't rush this part. Make sure that it's completely straight, because how it dry is how it's gonna dry. So put more Nairobi if you need to, and okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So now I just want to fix little, just like the little pieces. Like that. Honestly, whichever side you're gonna be putting a swoop towards, I really don't care about it like that, for real. Like, don't get me wrong, I still want it to be straight, just because if you really are like a hairstylist, you're gonna just make sure each part is how it's supposed to be before you move to the next step. But this is gonna be swooped anyway, so you really won't see it. But for me, I just want to know that it's like still neat. So, because like when I first got my hair cut, remember I told you I had the bang and mine was going over here. I used to switch it up, but when I got it done, I had it this way, and how I'm about to do it. And a lot of people didn't even know I had my head shaved like over here, because you never saw this like portion of my hair at all. So it wasn't until I started flipping it the other way that they knew both sides were actually fully shaved. I think it would be weird to have a haircut up here and not over here, meaning like the bang and then having hair right here. I don't know why people didn't think that all of it was cut and it was just the bang. I guess they thought that this hair was long right here too. I don't really know. But that's just what people was telling me. I didn't know you had your hair shaved on that side. I'm just like, yeah. Why would I only have it right here and right here? So, anywho, so I'm gonna let this stay like that. I do want to just trim this up a little bit. Not trim, but straighten this up some, because again, this is the side that will be shown. So this is your view. This is how people see it. So what you want to do is make sure this is like, that's kind of all I do. Like, you can do it like that. Like, you can really do it however you want. It would not look like this in the morning, so do not do the most if you're doing this at night, which I hope ain't nobody doing all this in the morning. But if you are doing it in the morning, or if you need to touch this up in the morning, don't put too much effort into this like little line, because it will not look like that in the morning. I promise you, I will not ever lie to you. So I see some hair sticking up. Again, in about a week is when I'll relax all of it. Well, honestly, it depends on how long this, like, me putting this tracks in lasts. Because if it's pretty decent, then I won't need to. Because again, this area right here, as long as mine right here is short, I can manage it. That's why I said moving forward, I kind of, if I'm doing like something quick or whatever the case, I just kind of relax my perimeter, because that is, if that's rough to me, then my whole hair look rough. But if I have this slick and this is just grown out a little bit, and I ain't gonna say, I'm not saying it'd be crazy, but if this is grown out a little bit where I can see my natural hair wave, I'm good to go. Like, I can see it now. This is straight, and you can see the little wave right here. I really don't care about that because it's still laying down. I'm not gonna deal with that texture up here. Just not doing it. Or back in the back. Just not. So I'm going to let this dry completely, which it already is starting. It does not take long. Your hair is short. It should not take long at all. And then that's when I'll come back to lay my tracks. So I am back. It didn't take too long for it to dry, but I just wanted to make sure it was completely dry and not wet anywhere. So we're good to go. I am using 8" today. So as you can see, where it starts is more than, like, it's long enough, and I'll be able to just, you know, razor it or whatever when it's time to cut it. I did use this hair on my client last week. I'm mad that I didn't keep the little label thing, because I don't remember this brand, but it was not very expensive. This was only $10.99 a pack. This was a full pack of 8". So it don't buy the most. So and I'm using my favorite Salon Pro 30-second glue. See that? It's not that clear, but that's what it looks like. You would never really catch me using that glue in that all gray bottle. It's supposed to be, you know, similar to this, but it's just not. It takes like forever for that stuff to dry. All right, so the fun part. So now all I'm going to be doing is pretty much keeping it diagonal, and I'm doing that because that's how I want the tracks to fall. You don't want to do them really to the side. At least I don't. If that's how you want to do it, not a huge wrong or right type of thing. Again, it's preference, but this is how I'm doing mine. I'm laying mine, you know, diagonal. So I'm going to start with about that, so you can see where the corner is. Don't start down here. That is a do or don't start down here. That's really unnecessary. So that's that. I'll just part this off. And see, I would not be putting it right here. Okay? It would not be on my hairline. This way, if I ever wanted to, if the wind blow and it's windy outside, it's starting to get a little cool, so the wind is blowing and stuff like that, you want to make sure that your hair is out in the front all times. So, and same thing with this. I would not be bringing it to this part, so I am going to be stopping it about right here. Okay, this is the part. I'm stopping it about right here. Very close. Very, very close. So ultimately, I keep my finger actually where my thumb is. I'll cut right here. So we're just going to cut it right there like that. This is all I'm going to be using. So this is about 2 inches. Okay. So we're just going to lay this like that. Okay. Boom. Put the glue on there. Sometimes these little hairs like to get in there. I try to get those off if I can. And we're going to lay it the same way how we measured the parting. So that way it lays right here. Okay. And boom. You have laid your first track. Okay. So that's that. We're gonna leave it alone. If you want to blow dry this, some people do, totally fine. If you want to blow dry it, you can do that. This will lay down, but that just looks funny. You can blow dry it if you want, and we're gonna keep it moving. So I am parting. You can, let me see. So I'll be parting maybe, can you see that? I would say this is maybe almost 1/2 inch. So that's how we're doing it. So we're gonna do that, and we're just gonna repeat. We are going to repeat. We can go in and add tracks if we want towards the end, but it's preference. I can't tell you if it's too thick or too thin. If that's how you want it, that's how you want it. So again, my part is right here. I'm going to leave all of this out. So I'm going to be starting my track about right here. And also because I see this is still part of my hairline, so like my edges, so it's thinner, of course. So you don't want to put it too much right there because this will not cover that track. This area is what's going to be covering this track, so that's why you want to put it about right here. Okay, so I put it right here, and then I'm going to end it about right here. Okay, so let's start it about right here. We're gonna put it across and stop it about here where my thumb is. So snip that, and boom. That's why you don't really want to do this with expensive hair unless you just had it with that hair and you know you're going to be throwing it away soon anyway. I would not be doing that just because you are now cutting the hair into very small pieces and you're gluing it. So if you were doing this in a sew-in and stuff, whatever, but don't put glue on expensive hair that you intend to use over. So again, putting it about right here, and we're going all the way across. It is right here, and my part is right here. So we are going to just hold this down, and you all see I'm not having any problems with this glue. It sticks how it's supposed to, and that's it. Like that other glue, these ends would have been sticking up. I won't have any problem. I don't really sweat in my head, you know, it's still summertime, so people, you know, may be having that problem right now, but this glue has never like come up unless I've had it. Don't get me wrong, still glue, unless I've had it for, you know, however much time and it starts to come up. But like, for example, next week I won't have any problems with this coming up. This is still going to look like that. So that's why I recommend that brand of glue. Again, this is Salon Pro. It is the 30-second glue. If you can't remember that, just remember and tell them the red and blue bottle. Alright, so we are going to keep moving. Alrighty. And keeping it diagonal. Making sure these parts are about the same. Just stay consistent. Okay. So boom. So that's that. Okay. Pin that up and we move forward. Alright. So now that I'm getting back here, I have more, this hair is longer than in this front, so I can actually move this track a little closer to this part, which is what I'm going to start doing again because this hair in the front is short, so you gotta make sure it's covered enough and not looking crazy. So I'm going to actually start this about right here. Okay, start that about right there. Bring this across, and And this is going to be about right here. It is a little difficult to see on the right side, like over here, because now you got this hair in your face and you're trying to look down. It is a little difficult, I won't lie, but it's doable. You can do it. Okay. Don't over glue. Don't over, like, you don't have to put that much glue. Put enough, like put glue on it, but do not have it like dripping, like to where it's like now falling on this other side. Like, just put it on there enough and keep pushing. All right, so we're gonna start that about right here. And follow your parts. Okay, so now I'm just looking on this other side to see where this really ended, because I should have done that before. But so that's that. As you can see, it's starting to come together slowly. We're gonna get you there, girl. We're gonna get you there. Okay, so boom, so that is stuck on there, and we continue. So you can always flip this to the side. Okay. And again, you can always go back. I'm gonna grab another clip. You can always add more hair if you want. Once you style it and you see look a little thin, you can always add more hair. So just so you can see, right? This is, you do not see any other tracks right here. You do not see any tracks. And when this is over here, you will not see any tracks. If, when I get done, if this is really bothering me that this hair is not completely jet black, meaning my hair, don't get me wrong, it's black, but it's still not looking the same color, I'll show you guys what I do to do that, to cover that, I should say. So let's continue. So now again, this hair is getting thicker and thicker back here, so you can put it a little closer to this part. That way when you do have a swoop, it's not all the way like over here. It's actually looking like it's coming from over here. So I can put it about right here, very close. So we're gonna go across, see where we are, and I'm gonna stop it about right here. Okay, where I have my finger versus where this part is where I'm going to stop it. So you just want to hold it and never lose your spot, and boom. Okay, these little hairs that be at the top are a little aggravating. Alrighty. Okay. So that's that. Just make sure you put it on your scalp and you're not, look at this hair, and you're not like laying it on your hair. That's where I think a lot of people are messing up too, who are saying it's messing up my hair when I do it that way. If it's done right, it shouldn't even be on your hair. Okay, so that is how it's looking. Okay. So again, guys, my parts are all the same width. I am not changing up anything whatsoever about anything. Of course, now that I'm starting to get to this this top corner, the tracks are gonna start getting shorter and shorter because they were short over here, getting wider, getting shorter. But that's the only difference that's I'm doing. So, and also get these little strings out your hair. Like this track here will have these different color strings for whatever reason. Cut that out because you do not ever want your hair to be blowing or whatever and you see it. It's just not cute. So get those strings out. I've seen red ones, blue ones, yellow ones. I think I've seen green before. Just cut these out. So, and if you have a client, trust me, they would appreciate that too, because they don't know that this is in there if they've never really really opened up a pack of hair, because some people haven't. So again, so we're gonna start about right there. So this is the part. This right here is where I'm putting the track. That is more than enough because again, this area up here is much thicker. So now, being careful because now it's a little bit more harder to see because it's at the top of my head. I can see this is where my hair is, right here. So I know this is where my part is. I see my part. So that means I can stop my track about right here. Okay? Let me show you. So this is the part. And I'm going to stop the track about right here at the tip of my finger. So what I'm going to do is just kind of grab the hair with my other fingers and bring it to where my finger is. And that leaves me right here. You have to figure this stuff out on your own, especially if you are, really want to get into doing your own hair, which is totally fine and saves you money. I am not against it at all. But you're going to have to figure out little things for yourself to make it easier, to make sure that people are not able to see your tracks. Like let's say, for example, you're sitting down and somebody is, walking past. You don't want them to be able to look on top of your head and see any tracks. So here goes another little string. They pop out, especially if your hair is black. They pop out. This one is actually like a white color. I don't know if you can really, how you can see it, but right there. But yeah, this is not hair at all. So you just want to cut this out. Okay. And these, for me, no matter which way I'm doing this, honestly, it's the first time I've ever done this because either one, I had my own hair and it was longer, or when I had this pixie cut, I had my own bang. So this is my first time doing this on myself, like putting the bang like this. So put it in the same spot. Okay. And you're going to follow your part. Follow the part. If you put enough glue, you can actually feel the coolness of the glue on your scalp. That way you know you made it to your scalp. It's another little tip for you all. You can always use a mirror, but sometimes mirrors, again, it depends on how much time you have or whatever the case, but I don't want to keep doing this, like trying to make sure that I'm right here when I know I can feel it on my scalp. Some things, but don't get me wrong, starting off, I don't even remember, but starting off, I'm pretty sure that's how I did it, as far as not with this style, because again, this is my first time doing it, but when it came to me doing whatever that I need to do at the top of my head. That's what I mean, not necessarily the style itself, but. Okay, we are going to continue. So I like to lay it forward before each time I lay it down. And again, you can see, you see what I mean as far as how this looks like it's coming like it's mine. That's how you want it to look. That's exactly how you want it to look. Try to get this part as straight as possible. If you're not like OCD and you don't mind how this little part right here is not quite straight, then you're fine. If it has to be completely straight, that's up to you. But just don't have it where it's like that all over, like really bad. Alright. So we're gonna start about the same spot as before. Again, right now we aren't doing anything differently because it's thick hair up here. So I'm just trying to find this part, seeing where my hair is coming out on the sides, doing the same thing I did from the area below. So I can see this is where my part is, because this is where the hair is sticking out, and I'm gonna just move it over a little closer. Okay, let me make sure you all can see it. So like right there, and this is where my finger is, and this is where I'm going to want to cut it. I think I'm gonna like this style because once I cut my bang off, honestly, like I feel like my Pixie was still super easy to manage and all of that was still really nice. It just doesn't have that same look when it has a full like bang to me. For me, like how I feel about mine, not everyone else's. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm talking about like their Pixie or their cut or however they have it. If I say I don't like it, I don't necessarily mean it's for everyone. Most of the time I'm talking about how I prefer it on myself. Okay. And we're almost done because as you all can see, there's not that much hair left. So I would say maybe about 2 more tracks. But we'll see. So for this area, because it is at the top of my head, when I just laid this track, like all I did was moving this hair back that's pinned up, just moving it back, making sure that nothing was like stuck up under. It wasn't, but you just want to make sure that, because you can see this, like you can see this part, but when you getting up here, it's much more difficult. You basically can't see it. So I'm just making sure, like, if I pull this, it's not up under it. So just another little something. Alright, so actually it looks like I'll just put one small one right here, and this area right here is what will be covering that last track. It's more than enough. My hair is a pretty decent thickness, so just from the past when I've done quick weaves and stuff like that, I would leave about this much out on each side of my part for my leave out, and it worked. I mean, my hair isn't thin, so I don't have to really leave a bunch out. So I'll leave about that much, which is actually about the same amount, almost. This is a little shorter, but this is almost the same amount as that first track where we laid. This one is just a tad bit shorter. Okay. And we are done. So, just looking at this, look like I did a pretty decent job. So the track stops right here, right before this part. So what I can do is now comb that down, and you won't be able to see anything. I'm gonna have to flat iron this with my little flat irons, the pencil flat irons, because now this is trying to stick up. But that ain't no problem. Okay, so all together, this is how you will look. Okay. As you can see in the lighting, it is not jet black. It did get darker. It did get darker from the rinse, but it's not jet black. But we are not going to panic. We are not. And we'll be good. I actually have a little crack in my top, and I just touched it and got it all over my fingers. So really that is it for that. So now I'm going to plug up my flat irons, both of them, the pencil ones for these smaller areas, which you want to be careful with that too. You don't want to try to do too much to it, like don't put no curl to it or anything like that, because it will not lay flat. So sometimes if I'm working with a small area like that, like when I had my my quick weave the last time, like I did flat iron it. I did it real quick one, and it was still sticking up because again my hair was shorter at the time as well, but it was sticking up. So what I did was I took my brush and I took some hairspray, and I kind of did it like that. I made it lay down with product, not heat itself. So I'm going to let these heat up again. What is in my throat? And that way I can style and cut this how I need to. So I'll be right back. Alright, so the flat irons are heated up, and this is pretty much it. So of course it's gonna be cut. And though you're not wearing it this way, I don't know, like I just don't ever want to have like tracks showing. It just makes me feel better about the style when it looks like this even underneath, you know what I mean? So that's that. I want to show you why it's important to not have your tracks right on your forehead, because you see what I mean? Like if the wind was to blow super crazy, then you don't have anything to worry about. You're not trying to hold your hair because you don't want anybody to see. So that's that. So I think I'm gonna start razoring it first. I might go in with my, I'm pretty sure I will, with my shears. But so what I'll do right now is just like take a part of it and start to like go inward. Okay, which that took off a good amount. Razoring to me is just like the best. Creates those really pretty layers. Okay. And then I'm gonna also razor it this way. So I knew that would basically take off that long part that was right here. You can take a part of the top. However you want this to go, you can definitely do it that way. Right now I'm just focused on layering. And what you want to do is parts diagonal. So this is not the same diagonal how we laid the tracks. This is actually opposites now of how we want the hair to fall when we do you know, flat iron stuff like that. So when we flat iron it, we're going to be putting the flat irons this way. So we actually put the tracks this way because we want it to fall towards our face. But when it comes to styling and curling and bumping, whatever word you want to use, you are going to start the parting this way, diagonal. That way it can fall back. You know what I mean? So that's also the way you want to do your layers as well. So once you do that, you just diagonal again to get a section. Okay? You want to hold that within your fingers and start at the top and kind of like work down. And that is going to create those layers. So you really want to do that all over. And start the razor about the same place each time. That way you know it's all even. Only thing you need to know about haircuts is making sure that everything is consistent. You're using the same angles for everything. You're starting at the same area for everything. That way when it falls down and when you flat iron it, you don't have any choppiness. It's not like a piece is up here and a piece is down here. You know what I mean? You just want to make sure it is all done right. So I'll grab a piece from the very, very top. Do that as well. Though I'm being a little careful up here because this is still a part of my long piece that's down here. Because I like how this is sort of right here. And plus, once it's bumped, it won't end right here anyway. But I want to keep that fullness and I want to keep that little length. And so with that, you don't want to go in too much with the razor because then you're making it thinner and thinner. And then if it gets too thin, you might as well just go ahead and cut that off. So you don't want to do that if you want to really focus on keeping that part. So I like this fullness right here. This was pretty much how my hair was. This actually looks just like it. So I'll go ahead and start this. So once again, we are going to part diagonally. And that is how we are going to flat iron it. Okay. You know what? Let me see. Like that. Start off with this little area. Okay, and we're gonna bump it back. Have it on back. And this is how, when I had longer hair, this is how I would do my bang area anyway. I would actually section it off before I did any of the other areas. I would section that off. That way I knew this would be going back this way. I hope everything I'm saying makes sense. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. But sometimes, I don't know, maybe... sometimes in my head, I hope I don't think that people know what I'm talking about. And y'all really looking like, what is she talking about? But if y'all have any questions, please ask me in the comment section below. So you can see the tracks. Okay. So we're just bumping it back. Nothing too fancy as of right now. And depending on how you do your layers or whatever, if you are, once you pull this up and you're ready to flat iron, if some pieces fall right here, make sure you get those pieces, because you just want everything to be curled how it's supposed to. So this is how we're looking so far. I will get this, like this little piece right here, I will get that. Last little piece is right here. Okay. So boom. Now you have your full bang, and you can have fun with it however you want. If you want it to be more curly, like really tighter curls, do so. Um, but you can see where these layers are coming into play. Like you can do whatever you want, make this as, you know, full as you want. As you can see, I should have counted however many tracks, but you can see I didn't even use that many tracks, and I'm still able to achieve that very full and bouncy bang. So just know that you don't have to lay tracks, you know, right on top of each other just to have a full look. Please don't do that, because if this is the look you're going for, don't do that. Okay, so I'm gonna show you all. Oh, also, last thing, make sure you are combing like the top part in the direction of how you laid the tracks. Like, for example, with this, how I laid them this way, that's how you kind of want to comb the hair, especially when you're trying to like initially get it to lay down and stuff like that. Don't force it into a whole different direction that it's not supposed to be going, okay? So that's that. And then I want to show you all that little trick I was talking about as far as how I'm going to get this to be, you know, the same color as the hair. So what you want to do, take a little cotton swab, cotton pad, whatever you have, even if you have a Q-tip. It's going to take a little longer, but it'll get the job done. You want to use that same rinse that you used, okay? And as a matter of fact, what you want to do before that, I don't want to miss a step. What you want to do before, I almost feel like I feel this track too. If y'all notice I keep touching this, I feel like I feel this track too much. And if I feel like I can feel it, that means I feel like in my head somebody will be able to see it. So let me just look really quick. Because if it's something that I don't like, I'll fix it. Can't see it, and that's the thing with my hair. It's like my hair is thick enough to cover the track. It's completely covered. You do not see it whatsoever, but since it's so close to the part, I can feel it, and it's like, I don't know, eventually I might probably go in there and cut off that little piece just because I want it to be completely flat. Now when I rub my fingers, I can feel that. So what you want to do first, the first step to covering like this color, you want to make sure that you have the hair laid how you want to have it. Don't put the color on first and then try to go in with your spray. So this is the Garnier Fructis Sleek and Shine, the extra hold spray. I think I got this from Walmart too. This is usually where I get these kind of hair products from. So what you want to do is spray this on here. Okay. I didn't feel the need to use my little flat iron, by the way, like I said at first, because as you can see, it's still laying down. It's just those little end pieces that don't want to cooperate. So spray a little bit of that, get that how you want it. Okay. I'm not doing too much. I didn't put that over here, just where it needs to go. That way, once I put my scarf on tonight, because you can see, look, it's still bouncy up here. But that way when I put my scarf on, this all like seals together and I don't have to worry about doing this every single day. So that's why it's important to use this day one and use enough of it on the first day. So that's all I need for that. I'm not going to do the most. I want to let that kind of set in place. But while I'm doing that, I'll look at this from different angles to see how I like it. Might actually curl this a little more right here. Okay, so this is dry. So all I do is like pour a little bit on here and I kind of spread it out with the top. Okay, that, and all I do is like dap it on here, like on the ends first. Like I had to do this with my that last quick weave I had, cause it was almost the same deal. So you can see it's starting to blend in a little bit more, and then it's not quite there because again all I did was kind of the ends. So now I'll just do a little bit more. And go back in and go a little closer to my scalp. That's that. And really, that's it. So because that still is a little wet, I will just not touch that and not put any, heat on it, and let that set. So ultimately, this is it for this style. Very easy to do, especially if you don't have to do the most like me, if you don't have to relax the sides, if you don't have to cut off anything at the top, or if you don't have to rinse your hair. If everything is set, if you have the same color hair that is your hair, the weave that's your hair, you don't have anything to do. So that's it. So I can sit here and play with this all day, and it will be kind of pointless because I'm about to go to sleep really, really soon. So that's that. So again, you still have your haircut underneath, totally cool, and you can do this however you want. But this is really how it looked when I had my hair. This is actually a lit, you know what? No, this is about, I was trying to think, I was trying to see if this was longer than my hair, but no, this was definitely where my hair was. And I'm gonna get back to it slowly but surely. But yeah, so that's that. So if y'all have any questions or however you do yours differently and it works for you, let me know how you do it. And I will give it a try next time, because I don't always want to just stick to my way and stuff like that. Depend on what it is. Like, certain things I can't change with mine, but if you do yours differently, I may be like, oh, I'll give that a try. But yeah, so that's it for that. I'm gonna be doing this all day tomorrow. Just thinking I got some hair. But yeah, so that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope this video helps somebody achieve this look that has been wanting to get it. Just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you all next time.